Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves, because what just leaked out of the heavyweight universe makes the Kardashians family drama look like a kindergarten nap time story.
I want you to fight Jake to replace Javante. I'm like, who's Jake? I was so confused, I wasn't expecting that at all. And he said, yeah, Jake Paul, he's fighting. And I'm like, no, bro, come on. Don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started up. I would have tell you.
Mike Tyson, the man who once made opponents vanish faster than your paycheck on Black Friday, has finally broken his silence on Jake Paul's insane decision to call out Francis freaking Ngannou. And let me tell you, Tyson's words didn't just hit, they detonated. This isn't your average internet beef. This is like watching a YouTuber walk into Jurassic Park with a selfie stick, yell, "Let's collaborate," and the T-Rex says, "Bet." Jake Paul just poked a man who could literally punch a refrigerator into retirement, and now Iron Mike has chimed in. And his reaction? Let's just say it's got more electricity than Logan Paul's Prime booth at WrestleMania. Rumor has it, Tyson's comments are so raw, so brutally honest, that even Ngannou's camp went silent for a second. And Jake? Oh, he's probably already scripting his next apology video in 4K. Stay right here, because what Tyson said might change the entire combat sports world. And trust me, once you hear it, you'll never look at Jake Paul the same way again. Alright, picture this. The internet is chilling, scrolling through TikToks of people pretending to train like boxers for likes. And then boom, Jake Paul decides to drop a nuclear bomb of chaos by calling out Francis Ngannou. Yeah, that Francis, the human tank who used to punch holes in the UFC octagon for fun. This isn't a call out, it's a cry for dental reconstruction. And before anyone could even type "Rip Jake Paul" in the comments, Mike Tyson, the godfather of boxing savagery himself, enters the chat. Now, let's rewind for a second, because this story didn't just appear out of nowhere. Jake's been walking around lately like he's the final boss of the internet. He's got the money, the followers, the private jets, and apparently a death wish disguised as confidence. Remember, this is the same Jake Paul who started off clowning on Vine, turned into a YouTuber, then a rapper, then a boxer, like a human version of a midlife crisis. But somehow he kept winning. And every time he did, the world collectively said, wait, this might actually be working. Then along came Francis Ngannou, the man whose fists should be registered as weapons in all 50 states and a few parallel universes. The guy who used to work in a sand mine, built like a Marvel villain, and hits with more force than a small car accident. So when Jake Paul decided to say, "Yo Francis, let's make history," the internet didn't just laugh, it crashed. Memes exploded faster than crypto prices during Elon's tweets. People said Jake was suffering from career-ending confidence. But here's where the real chaos began. Mike Tyson, the legend, the original knockout king, was apparently watching. And when Mike Tyson watches, you better believe the universe adjusts its energy levels. He's not just a retired boxer, he's a walking religion in combat sports. When Tyson speaks, even the walls in boxing gyms start shadow boxing. Sources close to Iron Mike say he was amused but concerned. Amused, because Jake calling out Francis is like watching a house cat challenge a lion. Entertaining, but you know how it ends.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they would matter. If he wants to make some money, Floyd wants to make some money.
Such a big MMA fan. I've been to UFC fights and I see you sitting octagon side. I can't help but wonder, if you had gotten into MMA as a young man, as a teenager, instead of boxing, how do you think your career would have went, Mike?
Hey, I had no idea, but I'm really enthused about the MMA, because I had no idea that Raphael, who's from a background of MMA, would know so much about boxing. I had no idea. Only thing I know about great boxing is the great Ed Joffa, who was a legendary boxer who happened to be Brazilian, but never knowing, not being conscious that he would know that much about boxing.
Do you think you could have learned all the wrestling moves and the takedown defense and could have been a champion in something like the UFC?
I could have done all that stuff. But once someone stepped on my foot, I would have tapped out. My feet are my weak spot.
But you know how it ends. concerned because Tyson's not blind to Jake's influence. He knows Jake isn't just throwing punches, he's rewriting the playbook for viral combat. So here's how it all went down. Jake Paul posts a video. He's shirtless, as usual, wearing sunglasses indoors because confidence apparently needs shades, and pacing around like he's about to announce a new NFT. He looks dead into the camera and says, "Francis Ngannou, you're next. The world wants this. I'm the baddest man in boxing." Excuse me? Baddest man? Did Jake forget that Mike Tyson invented that title? That's like calling yourself the king of pop, while Michael Jackson's ghost is watching from above like, "Really, bro?" Within hours, Tyson's team reportedly...
Do you have two quick ones? Do you have somebody in mind who you might call out after the fight on the 26th? Do you know your next move? I know you're very calculating when it comes to this.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of people out there still. KSI says he wants to fight me later on in the year. We'll see if he stops his capping. Nate Diaz is still running around. I think the Floyd fight is still interesting. So there's a lot of names out there after this fight.
And speaking of you being the great promoter also, I know Francis Ngannou, he's looking for a promoter. Have you guys talked?
We have talked. Yeah.
Give me something, Jake. Come on, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, no. The Most Valuable Promotions team, we talked to Francis, and we think we can do a great job for him, you know, and we share the same vision on a lot of things. And so hopefully...
sent out feelers, not to hype the fight, but to check Jake's sanity. Because calling out Ngannou is one thing. Using Tyson's crown phrase, that's personal. That's like borrowing Iron Mike's tiger and then trying to pet it. And then it happened. Tyson, sitting in an interview that was supposed to be about his cannabis business, was asked the question that broke the internet. "Mike, what do you think about Jake Paul calling out Francis Ngannou?" You could hear the tension in the room. Tyson blinked once, twice. He leaned forward with that look. The one he gives right before saying something that sends shivers down spines. And with the calmness of a monk who's seen too many knockouts, he said, "Jake's got heart, but sometimes heart gets you hurt." Boom. That was it. One sentence, 7 words, enough power to cause a social media earthquake. The clip went viral instantly. TikTok edits, Twitter threads, YouTube breakdowns. The whole internet turned into a Tyson translator service. Some said it was advice, others said it was a warning, and a few conspiracy theorists claimed Tyson was secretly training Ngannou in a hidden desert gym. But the subtext? Clear as day. Tyson wasn't impressed, he was worried. Because in his era, boxing wasn't about clout or clicks. It was about blood, sweat, and broken jaws. Watching Jake turn it into a social media circus probably made Tyson's soul punch air. And yet, here's the twist. Tyson's reaction didn't stop Jake. It ignited him. Instead of backing down, Jake doubled down, tweeting, "Respect to Iron Mike, but heart's what legends are made of. Let's see who's got more. More heart? Against Francis Ngannou? That's like saying, let's see who can stare at the sun longer." Tyson's camp reportedly laughed when they saw the tweet. One insider even said Mike was shaking his head smiling, but you could tell he knows how this ends. Because to Tyson, this isn't just entertainment, it's ego versus evolution. He knows the sport, the pain, the fear behind every punch. Jake might have spirit, but Tyson knows the ring doesn't care about your followers. Now, here's the kicker. Whispers started flying that Tyson himself might step in to train Jake for the fight. Yeah, let that sink in. The same Mike Tyson who said, "Heart gets you hurt," might be preparing Jake for the beating of his life. Why? Because Tyson loves chaos. He's the original king of unpredictability. Fans lost their minds. Twitter threads were titled, "Tyson turning Jake into a real fighter. Iron Mike mentoring the problem child." It was like watching a Netflix crossover between Cobra Kai and Rocky Balboa. But underneath the memes, the headlines and the hype, something darker was brewing. Tyson's old-school code was clashing with Jake's influencer DNA. 2 generations of boxing culture are about to collide, not in the ring, but in philosophy. Tyson represents pain and purity. Jake represents profit and publicity. And the moment Tyson spoke, that war officially began. Because when Mike Tyson, the man who once said he wanted to eat his opponent's children, tells you that heart gets you hurt, it's not advice. It's a prophecy. The question now wasn't if Jake Paul would fight Ngannou, it was whether Jake Paul would survive long enough to regret it. And as the world debated, Tyson's smirk said it all. You want to dance with monsters? Don't be surprised when they stop letting you lead. Stay tuned, because if you thought this was wild, wait till you see how the internet, the celebs, and even Ngannou himself explode in the next part. The Tyson effect had just begun. Now, if part 1 was the storm forming on the horizon, this was the full-blown Category 5 hurricane of chaos. The kind that flips Ferraris, ruins careers, and turns press conferences into meme museums. Because the moment Tyson's 7-word sermon, "Jake's got heart, but sometimes heart gets you hurt," hit the internet, the world of combat sports split in half like a bad divorce. On one side, you had Team Jake, the hype beasts, the YouTube defenders, the anything's possible if you manifest it crowd. They were chanting, "Jake's the future of boxing, deal with it." On the other hand, the purists, the old school warriors, the Tyson disciples, the people who think shadowboxing should be done in candlelight to classical music. And boy, did they come for Jake's neck. Twitter was on fire. One fan wrote, "Jake Paul calling out Ngannou is like my cat challenging a blender. Both end up shredded." Another said, "Mike Tyson just predicted Jake's funeral and made it sound poetic." Memes flooded faster than Logan Paul's energy drinks at WrestleMania. Someone even photoshopped Jake Paul's face onto a hospital bed with Ngannou standing over him holding flowers. The caption, "Get well soon, influencer." But the memes were just the warm-up act. Because soon, celebrities started weighing in. And when Hollywood gets involved, you know the circus is fully in town. First came Snoop Dogg, who of course had front-row commentary rights to anything Tyson-related. He hopped on Instagram Live, laughing so hard he had to hold his blunt mid-air and said, "Man, Jake better start calling Ghostbusters, cause Ngannou ain't human." Tyson told him the truth. That boy gon' need divine insurance. Then The Rock chimed in on X, formerly Twitter, posting, "I respect Jake's hustle, but calling out Francis, that's like me fighting a wrecking ball with a protein shake." But the biggest twist came when Dana White, the human embodiment of caffeine and chaos, entered the conversation. He called Jake's challenge a clown show wrapped in delusion, and even hinted that Tyson might have said the nicest version of what everyone else was thinking. Cue Jake's response. Because Jake Paul doesn't retreat, he reloads. He fired back with a tweet that made the internet collectively choke. Dana can talk. Snoop can laugh. Tyson can warn. Can laugh. Tyson can warn. Others claimed he was trying to force Tyson's mentorship by diving into danger. A few even suggested Tyson secretly orchestrated the whole thing to reignite interest in heavyweight boxing. And honestly, it wasn't that crazy of an idea. Think about it. Tyson, the ultimate chaos merchant, watching two eras collide, his old school brutality versus Jake's influencer insanity, all while the world watched. If he wasn't stirring the pot, he was at least holding the spoon. But behind the screens, things were reportedly getting tense. Insiders claimed Jake's team started reaching out to Tyson for advice. Yes, the same Mike Tyson, whose warning quote had gone viral as a meme, was now getting calls from Jake's management, asking if he'd help prepare Jake for Ngannou. It's like trying to hire the Grim Reaper as your personal trainer. Tyson's response? Mysterious as always. He told reporters, "If he's serious, I'll see if he really wants to bleed." That quote became the second nuclear tweet in this saga. Suddenly, the Tyson-Paul Ngannou triangle wasn't just boxing gossip, it was mythology. The comments were pure gold. Mike is about to turn Jake into the world's most expensive punching bag. Jake wants to be Rocky, but forgot Ivan Drago's still alive. Francis is sharpening his knuckles right now. And through all this chaos, Jake didn't flinch. He doubled down, again. He posted a new training video hitting pads captioned, "Legends built this sport. I'm bringing it to the future." Dramatic music, slow motion punches. Tyson quotes in the background. He basically turned a death wish into a motivational montage. But people weren't convinced. Tyson's fans saw it as disrespect. Jake saw it as destiny. And that's when the third explosion hit. A leaked audio clip from a podcast Tyson was recording. In it, he said, "I respect Jake's courage, but if he steps in with Ngannou, it's not boxing, it's survival." That single word, survival, became the soundbite heard around the combat world. Within hours, ESPN, TMZ, and every fight page on Instagram had clipped it. Tyson's tone wasn't mocking, it was prophetic. You could almost hear the weight of his experience. This wasn't trash talk. It was the warning of a man who'd seen warriors break in half under lesser punches. And yet somehow, Jake still smiled through it. He posted a selfie with the caption, "Fear fuels me." The comment section? A digital riot. Fans started betting money, influencers started choosing sides, and even Elon Musk dropped a tweet saying, "This is the simulation glitching again." By now, the hype wasn't just about the fight. It was about what Tyson would do next. Was he going to coach Jake, support Ngannou, or sit back like a boxing god watching his disciples battle for his crown? Every word, every emoji, every silence from Mike became headline fuel. And just when people thought it couldn't get wilder, Mike Tyson announced he'd be making an appearance at Jake's next fight conference. Cue absolute mayhem. Jake's fans claimed it meant Tyson was joining his corner. Ngannou's supporters said he was coming to bless the destruction. Either way, every boxing fan on earth knew one thing. When Iron Mike shows up, peace leaves the building. The internet started counting down like it was a royal wedding. The memes got darker, the jokes sharper, and the tension thicker than Jake's ego. Tyson had officially gone from commentator to kingmaker. And if this was how the build-up looked, the aftermath was about to make the Will Smith slap look like a polite handshake. Because when Tyson finally spoke on that stage, the world would stop, and the sport of boxing would never look the same again. Stay tuned, because the gloves are coming off, literally and metaphorically. The day finally arrived. The press conference that felt less like a fight announcement and more like a global apocalypse countdown. Cameras everywhere, security tighter than the Pentagon, and in the middle of it all, Jake Paul, glowing with self-belief and possibly caffeine. On the other side, Francis Ngannou, calm, colossal, looking like he ate fear for breakfast. Then the doors swung open. Enter Mike Tyson. Silence. You could literally hear reporters stop breathing. Tyson walked in wearing black shades and that trademark "I've seen things" expression. He didn't need to speak. The man is punctuation. But Jake, ever the showman, grabbed the mic and said, "Mike inspired me. I'm ready to make history." Tyson just looked at him and smirked. That smile, equal parts respect and regret, said everything. And when he finally spoke, it was like thunder through the speakers. History's written by survivors. Let's hope you make it that far. Boom. That line alone broke the internet. Tyson said it trended worldwide. Even Ngannou chuckled. Not mockingly, but like a man who already knew the ending of this movie. Overnight, the clip became legend. News outlets framed it as Tyson passing judgment. Fans called it the final warning, and meme pages had a field day. Jake's "Let's Make History" was looped right next to Tyson's "Let's Hope You Survive," like Fate's own trailer. Behind the scenes, though, something changed. For the first time, Jake reportedly paused his trash talk, not out of fear, but reflection. Because when Mike Tyson speaks, even the cockiest souls feel the weight of legacy pressing on their chest. And Tyson? He didn't just drop a quote, he dropped balance back into boxing. The influencer circus had finally met its reckoning. The ring wasn't about followers, likes, or thumbnail expressions. It was about men, gloves, and consequences. In the days that followed, Tyson clarified his stance. "I love Jake's confidence, but boxing isn't a game you play. You live it, or it kills you. Simple, brutal, honest. That's Mike Tyson's gospel." Ngannou respected it. Jake reposted it, and the world still can't stop arguing about it. But deep down, everyone knows. Tyson didn't just comment on a fight. He reminded us why the ring will always belong to the real ones. And somewhere behind that grin, Iron Mike probably whispered, "Welcome to my jungle, kid." Because when the smoke clears, legends don't fade. They just watch the next generation test how much pain they can survive. And in this story, Tyson's words weren't just advice, they were prophecies. And there you have it. The moment Iron Mike Tyson turned a YouTube stunt into a boxing sermon. The internet's still shaking, memes are multiplying, and Jake Paul's probably shadowboxing his reflection as we speak. But here's the real question. Do you think Jake Paul can actually survive Francis Ngannou? Or is this just another viral PR stunt that'll end faster than Logan Paul's crypto project? Drop your take in the comments. I'm reading every single one. And if you made it this far, congratulations. Your attention span officially survived the most chaotic boxing saga since Tyson bit a man's ear off on live TV. So do yourself a favor. Smash that like button like it owes you money. Slap that subscribe bell harder than Ngannou's jab. And join the madness. Because here the scandals never sleep. Every week, We dive headfirst into drama so explosive it makes tabloids look like bedtime stories. We've got leaks, betrayals, emotional breakdowns, and the occasional celebrity meltdown, all served fresh with a side of sarcasm and caffeine. So buckle up, fight fans, because if Jake and Ngannou actually square up, I'll be right here, breaking it down like Tyson himself whispered the script in my ear. Until next time, remember, in boxing and in life, talk is cheap, punches are not. This is Agents Boxing signing off, where legends fall, egos explode, and the truth hits harder than Iron Mike in '88. Because in this ring, drama doesn't die, it just goes 12 rounds and die.